Hey everyone, it's me, Ian. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a pretty controversial take. I'm just going to come out and say it, okay? I think that Peppa Pig is better than Bluey. Gasps. Listen, the truth is, I do think that Bluey's probably a better written show. Maybe there's a little bit more thought and care put into the crafting of these narratives to create this sort of heartfelt show. But I'll tell you why I think Peppa Pig is better. One, I think that Peppa Pig does a better job of reaching the target audience. Peppa Pig is for preschoolers. Bluey is kind of for a weird in between audience, in my opinion. It plays on like Disney Junior, which is a preschooler channel, but in my opinion, it's a little bit mature for preschoolers because they're trying to convey sort of emotionally poignant messages. To be honest with you, my son, who's 2.5, gets bored of Bluey pretty quickly, and he's not even preschool aged yet. So obviously he's maybe a little too young for Bluey. But the point being, my son loves other Disney Junior content like Super Kitties and Spidey and His Amazing Friends. But Bluey he loses interest with. I think it's because it's a little bit too caught up in trying to appeal to parents. And I think there's actually several episodes of Bluey that are downright boring for kids and pander to the parents way too much. I think Baby Race is one of those. I think that episode where Bandit's trying to make friends with that other little girl's dad at the park. Maybe the episode was called Cafe. I don't remember. Anyway, those episodes are more about adult issues than they are about kids' issues. And I appreciate that as a parent. I actually think it's quite nice to watch Bluey. I find myself watching it while my son has wandered off. Peppa Pig, though, grips me and my son both. And I'll tell you why. Peppa Pig has jokes in it that appeal to parents, but they're not the basis of an entire episode. Peppa Pig episodes are fast paced and absurd. It's just fun and imaginative in a way that I don't know that Bluey is, because Bluey is constrained by a sort of realism that Peppa Pig is not. Also, I just think Peppa Pig is funny. The show is just hilarious. There are so many things about it that I've laughed out loud at, like running gags that I feel like Bluey doesn't have. And I feel like Peppa Pig is still entertaining to watch as an adult, but it does a better job of appealing to younger kids, as young as, my son, for instance. So, anyway, that's my opinion about why Peppa Pig is better. But why is it not as popular as Bluey at this point, anyway? I think it's because Peppa Pig kind of has, I'm not going to call it ugly, but a more crude, maybe, art style than Bluey. And so my little illustration here is just a little experiment. If Peppa Pig looked like this, the show, and was a little bit cuter, do you think that people would like it as much as Bluey? I don't know. I think maybe they would. Maybe they would like it more. But anywho, that is my hot take. Peppa Pig's a very good show. It's fun to watch for adults and for children alike. And if you think that it's not a good show or it's just a meme, give it a try and watch it for yourself with your kids. But also, I've also heard a complaint that like people say, "Oh, Peppa Pig, she's a brat, like she's rude, blah blah blah." Bluey, I gotta be honest with you, I love watching her, but as a person, she's kind of insufferably bossy and just as rude as Peppa Pig. It's age appropriate rudeness, at least in Peppa Pig's case, because Peppa is like 4 and Bluey's like 6 or 7. One other thing I will note about Peppa Pig that I like a little bit more than Bluey is that, like, when the Peppa Pig episodes do decide to be educational instead of just entertaining and silly, which is what they are most of the time, it's a little bit more practical than the kind of moralistic lessons you get from Bluey. So I do appreciate Peppa Pig has episodes about colors, shapes, numbers, but they disguise it pretty well in a plot, so it doesn't feel like kids are actually like being educated, which means that they're more likely to pay attention. And again, with Bluey, I just feel like it can be kind of preachy at times. And more recent episodes of Peppa Pig, I think, are worse than the older episodes because they're trying to copy off of the Bluey success. and they're getting to be a little bit too heartfelt and like therapy talkish, which I think is annoying. I like the old Peppa Pig where they were just doing crazy stuff like jumping out of airplanes without parachutes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, tune in, watch a few episodes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!